Hello, my name is Meerah and I am a Lorekeeper in one of Yogg-Sothoth's libraries, and today I wanted to talk about the Yekubians from the Lovecraft mythos. The Yekubians first appear in the 1935 short story The Challenge from Beyond, written by HP Lovecraft, Robert E. Howard, Frank Belknap Long, Abraham Merritt, and CL Moore. They are described as worm or centipede-like, pale gray, roughly 30 to 50 inches around, and around 12 feet in length. They're covered in cilia, or sensory antennae, have disc-shaped heads with no perceptible eyes, and a purple orifice that could possibly be a mouth. Around their necks are a number of flexible red spines that can be moved at will to create the noises of their rhythmic language. And at the end of their long tails is a fan-shaped membrane. As the story went, there dwelt a world, and eventually on countless other worlds, of outer space a mighty order of worm-like beings whose attainments and whose control of nature surpassed anything within the range of terrestrial imagination. They had mastered the art of interstellar travel early in their career, and had peopled every habitable planet in their own galaxy, killing off the races they found. Beyond the limits of their own galaxy, which was not ours, they could not navigate in person. But in their quest for knowledge of all space and time, they discovered a means of spanning certain transgalactic gulfs with their minds. They devised peculiar objects, strangely energized cubes of a curious crystal containing hypnotic talisman and enclosed in space-resisting spherical envelopes of an unknown substance, which could be forcibly expelled beyond the limits of their universe, and which would respond to the attraction of cool, solid matter only. Many compare the Yekubians, or the Inhabitants of Yekub, as they are often called, to the great race of Yith, and I personally find that comparison to be pretty fair. While they do not seem to have the means to physically travel beyond their own galaxy, they utilize crystalline cubes roughly 4 by 4 inches in size to swap their minds with the species of other planets in order to explore. These crystal cube devices have been scattered across the universe, including our own galaxy, the Milky Way. Once the Yekubian has explored the world to their satisfaction, they can then use the cube to return to their own mind. Square, crystal smooth, obviously artificial, with dull, rounded corners. The strangeness of its rock surfaces to his fingers was so remarkable that he reached again for his flashlight and turned its rays upon the thing he held. Quartz, unquestionably, but not in its usual hexagonal crystallized form. Somehow, he could not guess the method, it had been wrought into a perfect cube, about 4 inches in measurement over each worn face, for it was incredibly worn. The hard crystal was rounded now until its corners were almost gone, and the thing was beginning to assume the outlines of a sphere. Ages and ages of wearing, years almost beyond counting, must have passed over this strange, clear thing. But the most curious thing of all was the shape he could make out dimly in the heart of the crystal, for embedded in the center lay a little disk of a pale and nameless substance, with characters incised deep upon its quartz-enclosed surface. Wedge-shaped characters, faintly reminiscent of cuneiform writing. The Yekubians have a society that is something completely foreign to any that exist on Earth. It does not appear that they have any crime or violence among their own people, though they do not seem to have a quarrel with violence against others, as they are cited as being the invaders and destroyers of entire species. Specifically when they come across one that is spacefaring, they seem to have an established religion that is centered around an ivory-hued, almost transparent orb or sphere, shrouded in mist that is called the God of Yekub. The origin of the orb and its original purpose, and the reason that the Yekubians worship it, has been lost to time. Apparently over 1 million years ago was the last time a Yekubian was aware of the origins of their religion and the orb. That they still worship it seems to indicate a deep sense of habitual and dedicated behavior in their culture. On his centipede legs, Campbell clambered the tiered altar, heedless of its sudden quiverings, heedless of the change that was taking place in the floating sphere. Heedless of the smoke that now billowed out in blue clouds. He was drunk with the feel of power. He feared the superstitions of Yekub no more than he feared those of Earth. With that globe in his hands, he would be king of Yekub. The worm men would dare deny him nothing when he held their god as hostage. He reached a hand for the ball, no longer ivory-hued, but red as blood. And yeah. So a Yekubian swapped brains with the wrong human, and the human ended up becoming king of Yekub for a while. And that's pretty much it. A brief summary of the Yekubians from a collaborative short story. I really enjoyed reading this one, as many of the Mythos heavy hitters contributed to it. If you want to read it too, for free, the link is in the description. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed this. Y'all know the drill. Thank you so much for watching, and special thank you as always to my channel members, especially Loremasters PwNaGeDOTexe, Beitodesstrafe, and General Jehuty. I appreciate you all so much. May y'all grant you the knowledge you seek, my friends. Also, I have a Patreon now, and you can join as a member for free and watch my videos without the ads. Thanks again, and I hope to see y'all next time here in the library.